You stupid piece of shit. And even my computer, or my TV cooperation, because it is not turning on.
No, roll 20. I'm absolutely not a human. How dare you make that assumption? I am an Apache attack helicopter.
Hell yeah.
Old school on that fucking joke. Fuck, man, I think we were still playing on campus at that time.
Yeah.
Wait, when?
With the I am an Apache attack helicopter. Yep,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck I just said. Joke came out.
Yeah, that joke. Yeah, I remember that joke now.
Not even gonna try to correct it.
You right,
No.
buddy? It have a wee bit of a stroke?
Yep, is that toast?
I mean, this is the problem when you sexually identify as an Apache.
Apache attack helicopter. I have to be specific. I do not identify as somebody from the First Nation.
I mean, how are they going to feel when they start getting sexually aroused by a hang D?
I don't know. Not my problem.
Well, this is gonna go real well this morning.
Hi, I self-identify as a problem.
That's about right.
But we need a solution. I don't give a fuck. Your needs are not my issue.
Hello. We are streaming, guys.
Yay!
And I have coffee.
And you have coffee. All right.
You know, the one thing that adults need to survive.
Do they?
No,
Really?
I mean, I don't necessarily need coffee to survive. It's just I need caffeine. So I don't commit murder.
That's fair.
I mean, that's just natural selection at that point.
No, natural selection is a bitch trying me when I don't have caffeine.
I mean, doesn't invalidate my statement.
That part's natural selection. I gotta edit my name in here.
Change your name.
That's what I'm fixing to do.
Oh wait, what was my name? Am I still? Nope, I'm still not Master Weeb.
I just never change it anymore.
It's because you're lazy.
No, I'm lazy. I only changed it to
Never
Master
have been
Weeb
me.
because it was funny.
I
It
mean,
kind of is.
fair enough.
We allow you a seat on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
I don't give a fuck.
Again, reminder, Panzer, we are live.
We are live. Live. It's live. Anyway.
Well, you know what that tells me? It just needs to be put down at that point.
No. It does not need to be put down.
Oh, and that's just Shiv. That's right.
Hey.
And it begins. It begins.
Face it, my characters are all generally punching bags for the group.
No, not
but
all of them.
See,
No.
but see, that's the thing though. Would you rather be the punching bag or the one that actually everyone hates?
What's the difference?
There's
The
a
difference is that
huge
someone tries to
difference.
fuck with you, people fuck with them back.
Yeah. There's a very huge difference.
It's a case of if we hated you, we would let you die.
Pretty
touche.
much.
No, if we hated you, I wouldn't apologize when I think I've gone too far. Because then I would never think I've gone too far.
That's true.
Fair enough.
And hey, it's not me that hates you on Sundays. It's the dice.
The dice hate us on Sundays.
But Dice
No,
hates us in
Dice
general.
hates everybody on Sundays.
Speaking of dice, it's time to get started. Hi, I'm Karsa, Karsa KKWX. Karsa is my name and KKWX is my empire. We are here today to give you a story about, well, it's a season 2 story for Godbound. Our Ascended here, as I started up, are going to be giving us their downtime info, their faction info, and we're going to start with telling you what the story was about last time. So, let's get to it. All right. Yeah, I'm in chibi form because somebody redeemed chibi 5 minutes before I stopped playing the game last time.
Hey, at least it doesn't break your stream anymore.
No, I figured a better way for it. Although I look very different than you guys right now. So,
I
Yeah, you
mean, that's just chibi.
yeah,
like-
it's chibi.
Chibi is supposed to be small and adorable, etc., etc.
Yeah. All right. So, Godbound Season 2. Are we ready for this?
As well, everybody, I guess.
Whenever are we ready?
Well,
I mean, are you?
am I?
Oh, trust me, it's never ready.
No! God, please, no! No!
And it
No!
starts, I swear.
So it begins.
Yes, it begins. Fire, thanks. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of story background that happened the second half of season 1. And then we're going to go from there. One of you need to decide who's going to be the one who starts their downtime. So let's start first. All right, so at the last half of the season 1, we had Oda's death, which was a fallout, where if you remember that, lotteries were used to figure out who was going to play in the arena, and if you won, your family would get like a lot of money. But if you lost,
Nothing changed.
if you lost, you died.
Pretty much.
Yep. Thanks for that,
I mean,
Fire.
even if you won, you still died.
Yeah, but people didn't know that. They thought they were put on like this big vacation time in another world. But no, they were actually fed to the Opus. Well, you guys decided to go against Oda, who was in charge of the lotteries and had them abolished. And after Cormac's demands to Opus, the gladiatorial events then were changed to only include convicts instead of the random poll of regular citizens. After this time, you also started getting your artifacts. Cormac got his artifact first, below the arena, where you got, what is it called? Cormac?
Of course, you picked the time and had something in my mouth.
Unlucky.
Oops.
Womp womp womp.
Well, an artifact that goes on his shoulder and arm.
It's a bandolier of some description, as I remember.
You remember falsely.
What is it then?
The artifact
What?
is called the Roar of the Crowd, and it is in fact a piece of old, like, gladiatorial, like Roman gladiator style shoulder armor. It's
Yeah.
basically a pauldron.
That's what I thought it was. And then Ignis and Riley went down to the underground to see to find Mitchell, because Mitchell had come to Ignis and basically warned him. And that warning didn't go too well. But what they did is they also met the elves, which is Riley is actually, or was a elf, and now she's an ascended, but she's been highly, well, made into AI. So there you go. Riley gets her artifact and also meets Safi for the first time. Riley, what is your artifact? Wasn't it like a core or something? A chip?
It's a dead chip.
Yeah, it's a data chip. Meanwhile, Cormac returns with Kaya and makes her into an ascended. Helios bands the mutts together. The mixisms.
The mutts.
Correct your name there, Karsa. You kept getting on me for it.
The mixisms?
No. What did you call my character's name?
Raiden?
You said Helios.
Oh my god, did I really? Okay. Alright, sorry.
Womp womp.
You
Civ!
kept getting on me over it.
Yeah, I did, sorry. Civ investigates SPX and learns more about what SPX does. If you remember, that was the drug that has been used to slowly get people to become Jarls.
The sort of proto-things.
Mm-hmm. Raiden, you went underground to see Willis and learn about the spaceship and the plan to leave Opus. You meet also the builder, if you remember, the gargoyle.
Yep, I remember.
And they tell you about why the dwarves and Willis and all the stuff is going on, and that they're building a tunnel to make it so that it will get out. You are willing to help with the spaceship and getting it ready, but you didn't really want it to be used to go into space. You wanted it to be used for something else. Was that right?
Yeah, originally helping fend off the Thanes. Because why leave when we can take the planet?
Right.
Or
Cormac
stay on planet and all that.
Cormac finally gets to meet some of the Celestials. Does not like them at all. Ignis is avoided by the Celestials. Not sure why, but it'll become apparent eventually. But everybody else is pretty much liked. I guess tolerated the Celestials. Now, who are the Celestials? These are basically hosted Ascended. They're hosted by a special energy that an energy type being that will become a symbiont with an Ascended if they feel like they are the best for keeping certain words going. Like, for instance, death is an Ascended that helps people go to the other side. Or stops them from going to the other side. We have then birth and rebirth and among other things. And then of course,
we know that they
Safi-
can be killed. It's just they're not
they can
dead
be
for
killed.
long.
The energy don't know if it can be killed. But the host itself can be killed, yes.
We know that the host can be killed, and that eventually something or someone else will take the place of the original host.
Yes. Because after a while, it just becomes harsh. You know that Safi is pretty much the oracle who deals with the prophecy or whatnot, and that the builder literally works with engineering and building the world up and universes up.
The builder builds. Who'da thunk?
Who would have thought, right? All right. So you've met those so far. The Jarls are then hunted and turns into an actual Thane encounter because you won against FN and you found the Jarls and you're starting to hunt them, and then it caused you to find one that was actually using Thanes. But the Thanes were not awake until they were. You nearly get messed up badly by this Thane, and both of y'all pretty much tried to retreat. You did retreat, actually. But Ignis re-engages and then rips out the heart of one of the Thanes and drags the corpse to the Third Eye Cantina. Willis takes issue to this and starts to try to figure out a way to make a new Thane. Somebody, who was the one who found out that he did it? I think it was Ryden.
It was a mix of us, I believe, that found out about it. I think Ryden was the first one to find out, and then Shiv and Cormac both went to investigate.
Well, this becomes a big issue. And, we'll just say it becomes even a bigger issue in the future. Shiv, you confronted your mommy and found out that you...
Unfortunately, secrets can kill.
Yeah, because you had a secret she was willing to kill you, whereas your dad was not so much.
Yep.
Ironically...
It's literally our job to keep this secret. Why would we kill somebody who found out about it?
Yeah. Cormac was summoned by the Solari because they had taken his friend hostage after the Thane encounter, and they demanded Willis's death for their release, but Cormac said he'll take care of it in a different way.
Shiv was also...
Yeah. You were there too, and that becomes an issue in the future. Conveniently though, Riley stumbles upon, yeah, it was Riley who did it first. Stumbled upon the situation where Willis and Liz are literally having an all-out fight. But what had happened was Willis literally knocked out his wife. After she had made it dark.
And it took literally all of us holding Cormac back to not get him killed.
This is true. They did end up having a trial where death showed up at the trial. Cormac, Ignis, and Riley voted for the execution, whereas Raiden, Shiv, and Liz voted to spare him.
Also, Kira.
Kira was the swing vote that spared him.
Which will come to bite us in the ass later.
Sending him with death to the Pluto freezer. The Pluto freezer, you would find out, is pretty much a prison. Okay.
Well, this is how I learned that prison's actually called the freezer.
It's called the freezer. The party then explored the outside while Liz decided to stay back and grieve, and literally made Cantina unable to be inhabited for a little bit.
All the air went bye-bye.
Yeah. Cormac and Raiden both go. You both go solo to check out the outside world, and then you come back and say, hey, let's go. And so you guys ended up making a squad to head out to outside the Opus. But what you found out is that Opus is still under a situation with radiation, excuse me. But only until you get to 30 miles out. Once after 30 miles out, the world changes. The wildlife is weird. It's very mutated. But things aren't so bad for you guys there. You're able to breathe. You're able to live out there if you wanted to. One of you, or y'all found a volcano. Ignis and Cormac both liked him, but Cormac claimed it first. Raiden also found suitable ground in a cave system and was looking into taking the FN up. Shiv, you did end up finding Nepi. And you also found the builder and Safi there, ready to help build with you.
Yes, we are living in a crater, folks.
Yes.
Well, honestly, the way it's
You're living in a
explained,
crater.
inside, it's more of an old quarry, but yeah.
Ignis and Riley didn't really have any plans to live outside the city at the time. So they decided to follow the tracks that they had found that were very recent. Discovered that FN trucks were heading that direction. You kind of knew that that's what was happening, but you actually had proof of where they were going. And when you followed them, you discovered that there was a caravan going. Ignis and Riley ambushed it, rescuing prisoners and killing all the enemies. This is the first time that the prisoners, not so prisoners, actually hostages, were saved from FN going in that direction. This also should have hit with you that something was going on in the city, but you didn't really figure that out yet until Cormac figured it out. Cormac decided after a while that he wanted to go back to Opus and get ready and get everything going, and ended up taking the tracks back and the other direction after he found them, and heads right into the space station area, finding that the FN had mercenaries that were working for them to get things rolling and get the drugs out. What he also found out is that a lot of the ones that were there had people that they were trying to keep alive, so they were basically hostage to this fact. Cormac kills one of them and then lets the rest live. Helps them out, and well, they ended up getting a new job. Permanently. And then, Ignis takes the people that is found at the base, at the caravan, back to Opus, and are taken to Zectech, and Zectech begins to help them out. Ignis searches the unknown wounded and finds that there's an identifying tattoo of a spider. Sends a picture to the group, but gets no response at all. Asks Opus and then gets summoned. Because it's not Opus that actually summons him. It's the T'Pol. And this is unusual because the T'Pol and Opus are one and the same. While T'Pol is kind of the host, Opus is the city. She's stuck there, and Opus is kind of the parasite, we have discovered. A similar situation that is happening with the energies, only that is for symbiotic. This is more of a parasitic nature. She was unconscious until that moment. Ignis takes them to Opus by helicopter, and they try to kill themselves. Ignis interrogates them, finds out that they were told to kill Liz, and they didn't. Ignis then sends Riley to the cantina. Riley finds the cantina fucked up. Before that, though, Cormac also discovers this fact and also finds that his wife is gone. Where's his wife? Unknown at the time, but thought to have been taken by FN. Only survivors that were in the building of the cantina at the time was the Riley's girlfriend, and Liz was MIA. As y'all leave, the bombs were detonated. Nothing left of the cantina. Sometime after that, Cormac decides that he is going on a rampage. He's going to find FN and destroy them. Talks to Opus, ends up getting the T'Pol again. For some reason, the T'Pol is wide awake and starts helping with destroying all of the rest of FN bases in the area, except for the one that Cormac was heading to. Shiv and Raiden re-enter the same day. A little bit later, Raiden goes to the factory and it gets targeted. Under an act of terrorism, also Raiden finds out that his parents are taken. Some say kidnapped, some say taken, some say maybe reenacted.
Voluntold.
Involuntarily told to work. Yeah.
Voluntold.
Yep. Hero also finds out that hers is bombed and ends up asking SOB to save the theater, and SOB absolutely does. Who is SOB? That is Son of Bits. Y'all decide to regroup. Ignis goes and follows as well. The attack on the last FN base happens at this time in Opus, and you destroy it. You find the hostages and you save them. Ignis then meets with Opus and ends up getting the T'Pol. There's a history lesson. Yes, for some reason, the T'Pol is busy all of a sudden. She tries to sway him to her side, fails to do so. Ignis shoots the offer down. The next day, Shiv and Ignis go back to the cantina.
And Shiv, because he knows vaguely when the events happened, rewatches all the events.
Exactly. And
Shiv is present to basically a gang war as a bunch of factions show up at the cantina, most of them coming after Liz.
And there are a total of 4 of them. There is the Solari, FN, Mitchell's guys, and the T'Pols. So all of them were there.
As a surprise to no one, Mitchell Graves comes out on top. Largely.
Exactly. Mitchell Graves basically says to Liz during that time, "You betrayed him, and now I betray you." And then, Shiv, I believe this is when you decided to ask, where is Mitchell and Liz? And you're told they are both off-world.
But get no further information than that. Ever since then, he has been cracking a query every now and again to make sure, at the very least, Liz is safe.
We'll get to that when we get to it. We're almost there.
Yep.
All right. Ignis then leads to everybody down to the underground and finds Mitchell's lab is uninhabited, finds the spaceship, and everything else is gone. And even Liz's information that she had down there is gone. So is Willis's stuff.
Yeah, basically the only things that remain out of the entirety of the lab are Shiv's starting's experiments.
Yep. Cormac declares that in 2 days he is going to assault the outside FN base, and the party needs to prepare their personal armies and get going.
Shiv thinks it poignant to call in SOB for backup.
Yep. And then you guys decide that you are going to attack. You do actually recover Kaya, but not without some things happening, nearly dying for one. Unfortunately, Shiv's parents also do die, but through Shiv's time manipulation, you're able to save your father.
Yep.
But not your cousins.
Mother.
And not your mother.
It's not the same person?
The cousins and the mother?
We are not.
No.
We are not going there.
No.
Bum.
Kaya.
We're going there, Lurch.
Kaya is recovered, but there was a lot of trauma. They had to rebuild her because she was literally being bled to death.
If it hadn't been for Shiv stepping in, she would have probably died.
She definitely would have died because what they were doing is they were bleeding both the Thanes and the Ascended together to make a new Jarl, a better Jarl, one that is not so big, but one that is much stronger. And you guys had to deal with that at the last bit. But you did save the scientists, well, sort of saved them, that were down
just
there.
Just not for long.
Oh, they were still alive. They just, were taken as prisoner. And you did manage to destroy FN and the base. Finding out that FN was
A brain in a jar, pretty
a
much.
brain in a jar that had just finished making the armor and making him something throughout that could keep. Well, it wasn't ready yet, but they were getting at that point where he was going to be able to use Kaya's abilities to do more. But that didn't happen because you got Kaya.
Yeah. Also, we went in and really fucked him up quite quickly.
Not without almost dying yourselves.
True!
Yeah. So
But what's war without a little risk?
that is the part where we are at. Now, I do need to ask people who are in the chat, are you able to hear them as well as I can be heard, or no?
Tossing. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, we're cussing now?
The reason why I'm asking this
Yeah, I
is
heard it cussing too.
we weren't able to hear you as well during when we were doing the other event. And unfortunately, I want to be able to make sure you guys are heard this time.
What do you mean, unfortunately, in this case?
Fortunately!
Yeah, you're right.
Are you saying you don't want people to hear us?
No, I do want them to hear you. I do want them to...
We give you shit because we care.
I know.
With friends like these, who needs enemies?
So, at this point, we are now after. It's literally just after you guys end up getting back to Opus.
I don't go back.
You don't go back.
Shiv already brought his cult out there. He's bringing everybody back, everybody he cared about back to the crater.
Oh.
He got the librarians out, remember?
You just... Okay. Well, Shiv. Let's talk about your downtime then.
Yeah. As things get built up, Shiv uses his network ability to start expanding his network across the planet while he works on his bioweapon. Every now and again, like every couple days, he cracks a query, seeing if Willis is still contained and if Liz is still at least moderately safe.
Define safe.
He doesn't. Hold on. He doesn't have to.
Standard definition of safe.
She is alive. She is alive.
This is that interesting thing of like, is she safe? Alive doesn't necessarily mean safe. You can be alive and not be safe.
True. Considering the vagueness of the question, I imagine like Shiv just asked as a standard.
Well, no.
definition of
Like,
safe.
well, no. You have an intent. Like you have there is an intent of safe being that like, safe being like, is she in threat of being killed? Like, as of asking this question.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, no.
Well, yeah, that figures.
She is safe for the time being. Yes.
She is safe by standard definition of being alive. She is not safe, however, by not being in immediate danger.
She is safe.
Because if she's dead, she's also safe because she can't be killed again.
True. She is safe.
But
and
again,
then is Willis still contained?
In Pluto.
Contained.
No.
At Pluto.
Imprisoned where we sent him.
It's Pluto. Fuck! Alright, well, add him to the list.
As soon as that question finally comes up with a no, Shiv will be getting on Cormac about it. Which I imagine is what spearheads us starting to build ships to start going out into space.
Well, yeah, that could get to that point. Alright, so Cormac, what is your quick downtime? And then we're gonna we'll get with you all in more specific, but you two are the ones who talked first. And-
No, he's not going back to the city. He kind of, you're gonna stay at the volcano until he's ready to do what he needs to do.
Okay. All right. So,
And the only message he's leaving is with Raiden. He wants him to come back out here in the next, like, I don't know, day or two.
okay. Now, with you deciding to not go back to the city, are all your people with you too, or are they still there?
No, they are still in the city right now. This is leading into starting them to move.
Okay. All
There's
right.
one thing I have to take care of first.
Okay. Any other fast downtime things before I go to Ignis, who has a long thing, and then it will start in the faction turns.
I mean, I don't know if you want to do the whole meeting with T'Pol and Raiden, because he's going to go see her.
We will do
He's
that.
getting his parents.
We will do that, but we'll do that when we actually go and work with you specifically. This is
Gotcha.
just a quick thing.
You know, Raiden will also definitely go see Cormac before he goes into the city and all that.
Okay. Do you two want to talk right now of what you were going to say?
Sure.
Okay.
It might get a little involved.
Huh? Okay.
So, as you out here, basically as you meet him at the rim of the caldera of the volcano, he knows you can handle the heat. He's not worried about it.
Yeah.
Well, so one thing before we start moving all our people out here is I understand that this place isn't exactly habitable given the unfortunate level of heat. I mean, they could do it, but why make them suffer if we don't have to?
Yeah, they'd definitely be suffering at that point.
And it seems, along with all these powers, abilities, whatever the fuck things you want to apply to them we can, whereas it is, exert a level of will I didn't think was possible, in that we can make literal changes to the environment. And I'm gonna need, in order to make sure that we have enough space for growth, thriving, all of that, I'm gonna need your help.
What's up?
Well, we're gonna have to be here a couple days, and we're gonna make this place more hospitable to people.
Okay.
Mechanically, we're going to spend some dominion to make this place basically livable.
Alrighty.
A veritable
Right.
paradise.
So at that point, Raiden would have one request out of it. He build something he can actually use to melt down the steel or the metal that was what's left over from FN's building, or
That's
what
fine.
is FN's building.
Cormac will walk around, walk 90 degrees around the rim of the caldera. I was thinking you can set up your people here.
That works for me then.
Then he goes back, not quite like back to the 90 degrees where they started. I'll be here.
That works for me.
One city, but me and Kaya, we have some thoughts about how we want to do our buildings, and I don't think they're going to mesh well with yours.
I mean, yeah, that's fair considering I'm planning on doing something a little bit more mobile.
I mean, most of your people are going to need somewhere stable to stay. You're not going to be
That
able
is true.
You're not going to be able to take, I don't know, a couple hundred people, a few hundred with you everywhere. Not unless you're planning on literally building a mobile, I don't know, apartment complex.
Not per se apartment complex, per se. Just
Can it-
something.
Can it feasibly and comfortably hold 500 people?
Oh, I can make it that way.
Would you really want to?
No, not really. But for the time being, at least someone at least live comfortably here at least.
Well, that's the easy part. You stand on one side of the rim, I'll stand on the other, focus in on the volcano and the heat, and we'll bring it down.
Will do. And at least with this way, I can also funnel some of the heat elsewhere too.
That was kind
Other
of
vents.
Well, I figure between both of our powers, it would be a mix of redirecting the heat and making this area a little bit heat dispersal. I get this feeling, I don't know how to explain it, really, but it's kind of like, you know how we can kind of understand where our powers came from, even if we don't really know them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to a point. Like, it's weird. I can feel...
Not only are we gonna like bring the heat down, that's not gonna last long, but other generations of our people will just be able to take the heat. They won't care.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
it'll be a combination of bringing it down temporarily until that kicks in, and then it'll work itself out. Welcome to the nature of, oh God, I can't believe I have to say this.